Sorry. All right, so we're going to have Sandra. Sandra is like I said, she is the owner and founder of thepressroom.com. She is coming to us via Zoom. I'm super excited that she's here to share with us just information about marketing and just kind of a 101. So if you're in business and you just need some help, I mean, definitely talk to Sandra. She was a big help for me in marketing, and she got my business started. And I, at least once a day, many times more than once a day, I get a call from Google My Business, and it's a free thing, so you can set it up yourself, or you can ask Sandra to help you. And she's incredibly reasonable, and she's very good, and she's on almost 30 years now, right? Okay, I can't hear you.
Hello.
Oh, there you are. Okay, good. Good. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're here, Sandra. Thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thanks, Ilah, for inviting me. Appreciate that.
This is going to be great. So I just wanted to see if you would explain what it is you do, and when someone goes into business, perhaps, or what should someone who's going into business do for themselves to help gain more exposure and definitely more clientele for their job or for their business or whatever it is they're doing. So let's start with that. How long have you been in business?
Gosh, I've been doing lots of different types of advertising and marketing for about 28 years now.
Wow, that's a long time. I was only like a baby then.
I started early.
Right. Oh, so what would somebody coming to you and they say, I don't have any clients. I've been in business for 3 or 4 months now. What do I do?
That's a very good question. The first thing I do is I ask them when they created their business plan, how much did they put away for marketing expense or advertising? And I would say probably 98% of the people that I speak to says zero. Yeah. And they said, I do have a website, or I'm getting a website. It's getting created right now, which is great. And that's huge. But that's about it. They kind of feel like they need the website. They have their email address. They're busy. Everybody's busy doing all the things you have to do to set up a business.
Right.
I have total respect for small business owners because they have about 30 jobs.
Yes.
And we have to do them all, right?
That's
in the
right.
beginning. And we're limited with budget. So
exactly.
I think that's the biggest thing I see that shocks me, that nobody had really thought about putting a budget together.
But they're told, like the school I went to for hypnotherapy, they have a wonderful marketing program as part of the hypnotherapy, just to teach you how to get into business. So when somebody or they go to school and they learn about it, some college or trade school or whatever, but they still don't do it. They still don't save for it, thinking, oh, it's no biggie. I can do my own Facebook. So what do we say to someone like that?
True. You can do your own thing. We can do 35 jobs. We could do 30. We could do 25. The thing that I learned early in my career, which has helped me to be, where I am and happy about that, is that you have the different levels of who you want to be in business. You're an entrepreneur, or you wouldn't even want to be in business, and you wouldn't even have had the energy or the excitement to be in business. It's a special person that owns their own business. Not That's everybody true. Is able to do that or wants to do that. And then there's the managers in your business, and then the technicians, the people that work for you. And I think the goal that I've always found is to hurry up and get to the point where you're just an entrepreneur, where you can oversee the business, you can create and be the creative thinking person. But get out of the technician and get out of the manager roles as quickly as you can. And that is complicated, I know, scary, and costs money.
Oh, yeah.
But once you can get out of that, and as soon as you can train somebody to do the things that you do, and you can start paying somebody to do those things, then that's how you can get into your business after 2-3 years and start growing it and expanding and scaling up.
Wonderful. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So if you were to teach a class on marketing 101, what would be the first thing? Okay, so budget is number one. What would be something else that you would touch on with your clients?
Well, we can't be everything to everybody. So I would say you really need to know your customer, and you need to know your marketing niche.
Right.
For example, big companies like Starbucks, they do coffee really well. But once you start getting into, having sandwiches and Mexican food and Carl's Jr. offering other types of items, then there's more money and more time allocated for those resources. You're spreading yourself too thin. So I say stick to one niche, one thing that you do very, very well, master that. And then as you get in and you get new clients on board, then you can start upselling the other services or products that you have to offer.
Gotcha.
So just really narrowing in on that one and getting that right is crucial.
One of the I guess an adage that I'd learned is give them 10 times the value of what you offer. So I'm a service industry. I do hypnotherapy. I help people. So it's the first phone call when someone calls me. I mean, I'm getting them at their worst. So there's got to be a way, because a lot of hypnotherapists will be watching this show because it's most things hypnosis. So I want them to learn, some things that might help them in their business. Because I know there's a lot of students that are still in school, trying, getting through their academics, et cetera, or their internship, and they're looking at trying to make money at this. And it can take, what do you think, your average small business would take how long to really get going where they could start seeing some kind of a profit?
Well, it's always going to be based on your budget. For example, one of the services we offer is search engine optimization. And so that has budgets anywhere from $200 or $300 a month on up to $2,000 or $3,000 a month, depending on, several factors, whether you're local, regional, national, who your competitors are. Right. I always say be where your competitors are and at least match them. And then try to find a way to find one product or service that sets you apart, that you can be a notch up from them. So budget comes into factor as well, but also your niche. So finding something that not everybody else is doing, and the one thing that's the niche to get them in the door. Right. And then you sell them on other services or products. So as you gain trust working with that client.
Right. Got to have the rapport with the clientele. Absolutely. It's important. So what about, one of the things that I've learned is I've been able to acquire clients in hypnotherapy just doing free seminars. So is that something, if someone came to you and said, hey, Sandra, I want to do free seminars and I don't know how to market it. Is that something that you could help somebody market?
Sure. I believe in giving something first. Doing something added value for your potential clients. For example, I usually jump on the phone and was on the phone today for hours with a person that I'm not currently doing business with. They're not paying me anything now. Just guiding through them, helping them solve some problems. So unless you can solve a problem, what value are you to someone? Right. You solve a small problem, especially a problem that's really bothering them. And this one lady has been disturbed about 2 years today on a problem. And I just jumped on the phone, got on that FaceTime with her, and we solved that small problem. And I've been solving problems with her for 4 weeks. Wow. If I help somebody and I don't, gain somebody as a client, then that kind of goes with the law of attraction and all the things that you believe in. And I believe in that. You help enough people be successful, you will be successful yourself. I agree. And then you create that trust and value. And then they will eventually do business with you.
It's true.
Is
absolutely.
the hope. And if not, you've met a new friend.
That's and a seed has been planted, like you said. Plant the seed where you can, and then bloom where you blossom, etc. What else can be offered to somebody coming to you? So you can do SEO. You can do websites. Okay, so a full-on.
I like to, on my website, there is a place to enter your domain name, your URL, and I'm offering a free website audit.
Oh, okay.
To any of your clients, anybody that's here on the show, they can see exactly how much traffic they're getting, if there's any errors, how they're ranking with Google, which is huge. This is all an audit that would normally cost about $300. Wow. For me to do that for. And I'm offering that to anybody that would like to take a look at where you're really at. Because if we can't solve a problem, then I really can't show, what it is I can do for you. So I can't just give a bid to someone blindly. That would just be,
Right.
Not honest and not real.
Yeah.
I look at the website, I look at the audit, and I will send it to you. We'll jump on the phone and I will show you exactly where you stand. And at least you'll have that information and you'll learn something.
So there have been other SEO companies that I've worked with in the past when I first started, and I was paying them several $100s a month. There was an upfront. They created a website, and I went with 4 different companies, and in a year and a half, and there was no clientele whatsoever that I received from them. I did get the website, and so when I went with another company, they gave me the content. It was just... It was like, to me, at that point, it was, what do I do with this? Now, what's this SEO stuff? There was no clientele that I received whatsoever in that year and a half from those companies. But what I know about you, because, I mean, I've known you now for several months, you get results. You get results far better than any company I've ever worked with. So, I mean, is there a secret trade? Is this proprietary information?
Thank you. Well, I believe the key, there are some scams out there, of course, in any industry. And you will see SEO companies that'll charge $200 a month, $100 a month, and you feel that's cheap, and you're going to get what you pay for. I can tell you that with SEO. They will try to create backlinks on your site. They will say they're going to do that, hundreds of them, but they'll have your website linked on a site that has 0 traffic. So that's not going to do you any good. Okay. We know which websites that have a lot of traffic. Gotcha. So we'll get you your links on those sites in the very beginning. And our goal is to, have a win in the beginning, the first 30 days. Oh. So we're getting clients, 1,600%, 5,000%.
Wow.
Traffic in the first 3 to 4 weeks, because we want to show you that this works. It really works if done right, but you have to have those relationships with those big companies with a lot of traffic already. And then that just triples it and quadruples it from that point on.
And you have that relationship with those big companies.
Yes, that's exactly what we do from the very beginning. I mean, I want to keep my clients around forever, and so I'm going to definitely overperform in the beginning. And those are things that, by doing 2 things, bringing backlinks, creating backlinks and bringing traffic to your website, and then also building up your authority score. Authority score is huge. And those are the 2 most important things that you need to do with SEO. And I don't talk to a lot of SEO people that really talk about authority score. So that's
It's huge. Swahili to me.
Good question. Authority score is this. That is the score that Google gives you when they scan your website when someone logs on. And so, of course, if you're not getting any traffic, you're going to have a 0 authority score. And when you're a new business and you have no traffic, that is the biggest challenge. Gotcha. That's the hardest client for me. Because we have a lot of work to do, and you have a small budget.
Okay, small budget, a lot of work to do. How long do you think it would take them to start seeing results?
We see results within 3 to 4 weeks. Okay. But I would say realistically, good 9 months, a good year
to get that organic.
I have a client that's been doing it for 5 years, and he's been in business for 38 years, and he's number 1 in his industry on 40 different search terms and products that he carries. It's been a very reasonable budget, just the hundreds, I'll say that. And he every year gets better and better. He even took a year off for COVID, not thinking, that would hurt too bad. And we watched it. And his competitor can't even touch him because he's got to jump on it. And now he's ahead of the game. Wow. And the competitor, luckily, isn't doing SEO and doesn't know anything about that. Okay. So those are other factors that'll tell you how fast that you'll get on board, whether your competition's doing it or not. Right. If they're doing it, then you're gonna have to do it too. But if they don't understand it and they're not doing it, I always get excited and I look for a key term, some kind of a key word that we can rank you quickly and get you ranking and get that traffic there. And then that's when the phone starts ringing. It's all about Google. and presenting who you are to them.
Right.
And we know what they like, what they don't, and they do have their algorithm, and
Right.
it does change. So you have
Gotcha.
to constantly, be adapting to that. But the first 9 months to a year, when you get that base in there, then you can kind of get on a maintenance goal. But I tell everybody when they say they can't afford to do it, I'll say, well, in a year, when you have the same zero traffic that you have now, give me a call.
How much did you spend in that year not getting the clients?
You can't afford not to. It's just one of those. Yeah, and I switched from other industries to this because this is the crucial one that's needed. You have to have a website, that's your brochure,
right?
And that everyone has to have that. But there's no use in having one if you have zero traffic. It's just out in space. Exactly. And no one knows about you.
Nobody knows it. So how can people get a hold of you?
They can go to my website. It's thepressroom.com.
Awesome.
And you can just put your domain in there, put it in the box that pops up on the first page. And then I will do a scan. We'll do some, we use lots of programs like SMrush and lots of software companies that we buy subscriptions to that are quite expensive. And we'll do an audit. We'll check your backlinks. We'll check to see if you have reputation management also. We can check to see if you've got some bad things going on in your site. We can check your security. We can check your traffic, and I can go over that and see exactly where you are. And then I can give you a plan. And if you can't afford it now, maybe in a year or two, you'll be able to do that. And at least you'll have a budget goal to work towards.
Good.
But I don't know any other vehicle, even advertising. It's great to do advertising, but when you bring your clients to your website, you want to do something with that traffic. And so I always recommend having an email service connected to your site that captures those email addresses, and then remarketing. Social media is great, but there's no use in sending a bunch of people from social media to your site unless it's completely optimized and it's ready for that traffic and it's on autopilot and you're doing something with it.
I'm looking at, like, social media seems like it's great for exposure. I mean, I have a billboard, but I never expect to get clients from it. It wasn't the reality was, let me just get my picture, my face out there, my name out there. It's exposure. Even this talk show, love that you would get clients, or maybe somebody would call, they want some one-on-one guidance from me or any of my guests. It's an opportunity for exposure. But I think, like you said, the real juice is in in the search engines, the optimizing of those search engines.
Well, and if you stop your advertising, thing about advertising, I'm a big fan of advertising, been in the business for a long time. Some vehicles, television, radio, electronic advertising, they'll be in person's thought process for 3 months, maybe. They'll still have a recall, but eventually that goes away. With the SEO, once you do that in the Google Cloud, you've done it already. And if you build a new website, you move it, or you change locations, all that's transferred over. So all the work that you're paying for is a one-time job that, as the longer you do it, the less expensive it gets, the easier it is, and the more results you get.
Yeah, and the more organic it becomes on Google. I know one person that did it by himself, everything, and it took him 3 years by himself to get to where he's organic now. He doesn't have to. It's like
organically trying to build your traffic, it's going to take 5-10 years. I think the question is always, how soon do you want the clients? And how many? And how fast you want results? That's kind of what a budget, and how many different products and services you sell. If you're just doing one service, then you're going to get the results quicker. But if you have many products, those are going to be clients that are going to take longer and need more budget. And then you have to look at your competition. But we're talking local SEO because you really can't compete with a national client. And you don't need to.
No.
So we're looking at bringing your authority score up and bringing as many backlinks to your website as quickly as possible. And our graphs go like that. I mean, from the first month, from 0, they go straight up, and they just keep going. And then you'll have a leveling off process there. And we can look at that and say, hey, can we back off a bit? or do we want to keep going and looking at how much traffic you're getting and how many phone calls. Point is how many clients you're getting. That's really what it's about.
And once they call you, it's on you to start warm chatter right away. You can lead the horse to water, but it's up to me to help them to drink. Give them hope or whatever.
And that's not our job. Our job is to get the traffic to you, get the people finding you through search, through Google. Exactly. And we would also look at your website as well. We want to look at the on-page website. Okay. There's two types. There's on-page and off-page. We look at your on-page. I'll give you a great idea of how much content you have. If you need to increase the word count, you want to have at least 200 words on each one of your pages. And I find a lot of websites are short on a couple of their pages. Okay. So word count's huge. If the content is worthy of Google to put their name on it to suggest. And I can help you with that.
Sounds like you're worth your weight in gold there, Sandra. I know you helped me, and all you did was help me with Google My Business. And it was like, wow, now I've got to get you on board.
And you got a little taste of that. It's kind of addicting.
Yeah, so it's gonna grow. It's gonna grow. Is there any parting words that I can that you'd like to share as we close out this segment?
No, I just encourage small business people to keep opening those businesses. Don't quit. Don't give up. It takes so many years and so much commitment. Yes. And you're a unique group of people. I love working with small and medium-sized businesses. Awesome. And watching them grow and getting them successful. Great. So thank you for having me on.
Thank you so much for coming and for all this wonderful information. We've got it in perpetuity now. It's on camera, if you will. So by all means, definitely visit Sandra at thepressroom.com. And her phone number is up there on the banner, 559-936-6578. Sandra Parker at thepressroom.com for all of your marketing and any kind of public relations, whatever you need. She's there. She's the one that'll help you get it done. All right. You take care, Sandra.
Thank you.
I'll see you later.